Welcome to this step-by-step guide on installing a virtual machine inside Zorin 18.1. A virtual machine lets you run a completely separate operating system, like Windows, right inside Zorin without rebooting or touching your partitions. It's one of the most useful things you can do with Linux, and it's easier than you might think. Let's walk through it together.
Before we dive in, let's talk about what a virtual machine actually is. Think of it as a computer inside your computer. You create a virtual machine, or VM, using software, and that VM behaves just like a real physical computer. You can install a full operating system inside it, run applications, browse the web, and even shut it down without affecting Zorin OS at all. The two systems are completely isolated from each other. For this guide, we'll be using VirtualBox. It's free, open source, and works great on Zorin OS. The other popular option is GNOME Boxes, which is simpler but less powerful. VirtualBox is the better choice if you want full control over your virtual machine settings and plan to run Windows or other Linux distributions inside Zorin. We'll cover both briefly, but focus on VirtualBox for the main walkthrough. Here's what you'll need before we start. First, enough disk space. Plan on at least 30 to 50 gigabytes of free space for a Windows virtual machine, or 15 to 20 gigabytes for a Linux guest. Second, at least 8 gigabytes of RAM on your computer is recommended, though 4 gigabytes can work in a pinch. And third, you'll need an ISO file for the operating system you want to run inside the VM. You can download one from the official website of whatever OS you choose. Let's install VirtualBox. Open the Zorin App Store. You can find it in the taskbar or application menu. Search for VirtualBox and click Install. Alternatively, you can open the terminal and type sudo apt install VirtualBox, then press Enter and type your password when asked. Either method works. Once installation finishes, you'll find VirtualBox in your Applications menu under System Tools. Now let's create your first virtual machine. Open VirtualBox and click the New button at the top. A setup wizard will appear. First, give your VM a name, something like Windows 11 or Ubuntu Test. Then select the type of operating system. Choose Microsoft Windows or Linux, depending on what you're installing. Select the version that matches your ISO file. Click Next to continue.
On the next screens, you'll configure the hardware for your virtual machine. For memory, assign at least 2 gigabytes, that's 2048 megabytes, for Linux guests. For Windows 11, use at least 4 gigabytes. The slider will show you your total RAM. Try to stay in the green zone so Zorin OS still has enough memory while the VM is running. For processors, assigning 2 CPU cores is a good balance for most tasks.
Next, create a virtual hard disk for your VM. Select Create a Virtual Hard Disk Now and choose VDI format. That's the VirtualBox standard. For storage, dynamically allocated is the best choice for most users. The file only uses as much space on your drive as the VM actually needs. Set the size, at least 50 gigabytes for Windows or 20 gigabytes for Linux. Click Create when ready. Now attach your ISO file so the VM can boot from it. With your new VM selected in VirtualBox, click Settings. Then go to Storage. Click on the empty CD icon under Controller. Then click the small disk icon on the right side and choose a disk file. Navigate to your downloaded ISO file and select it. Click OK. Your VM is now ready to boot from that ISO, just like a real computer booting from a disk. You're ready to start your virtual machine. Click the green Start button in VirtualBox.
the VM will boot from your ISO and the installation process will begin, just like installing an operating system on a real computer. Follow the on-screen prompts inside the VM window to complete the installation. When it's done, your new virtual machine will be saved and ready to launch anytime from VirtualBox, right inside Zorin OS. Congratulations and enjoy your new virtual machine.